Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are exploring the Player's Distance Iron category. Now the Player's Distance Iron category expands a number of different options, but they all fit into kind of the same bucket, and that is smaller looking, packed with as much technology as possible, with some stronger lofts to kind of counteract a lot of that technology. And today, our tester is Mike. How are you doing?
Good, RB, yourself?
I'm doing all right. Now, we did do a fairway wood shootout a little while ago, and we looked at spin, maximizing kind of playability and the shots you're gonna hit. Now, right now, what would be your gamer iron that you would go to?
Right now, I've got a set of Srixon ZX5 and ZX7s, combo at the 6, so 4 and 5 are ZX5s.
Okay, so we are gonna be looking at the ZX5 in the 6 iron today. Now, from a fitting perspective, you know, the player's distance category fits like a broad spectrum of players. You've got the low handicap player who's just looking for distance. Then you have the player that might have a little bit of speed, wants some game improvement characteristics, but needs a little bit more control. Is that kind of what we're looking at?
Definitely, and I mean, we see, I would say, rough number, 80% of our clientele are leaving with an iron like ZX5 or T200 or P770 in that, you know, they all have different shapes and sizes, but they're all in that similar category.
All right. So we've got 5 irons we are testing today. We've got the T200, the ZX5, or the ZX5 as we like to say in Canada. We've got the Apex Pro. We've got the new Mizuno 225. And then we also have from last year, is the TaylorMade P770. So they all fit into, they're not the maximum kind of size. There are some larger versions like the P790, which is a good example. But we're gonna look at this for Mike. Look at your category. We're going to standardize the test using all the same shaft. That would be your gamer. Mike, what do we got?
Yeah, Modus 120 stiff. Used this for a couple of years, so.
So Mike, let's start with the T200. Pretty good one there, Mike.
That was a great miss.
I think the one thing that I've heard from a number of people in the past, and talking to like engineers we have the access to, the slightly higher miss on the face of a modern iron is way better than something low. It used to be thin to win. It's not the case anymore because there's so much more face technology up top on the club head. To get a golf ball that launches high, it's still gonna go, versus something where when you do hit it skinny, again, it's gonna launch very low, it's gonna have a lot of spin, but not as much as a center strike, and you're not gonna get anywhere near the carry of them as well.
Definitely, definitely.
Nicely done, Mike. Kind of same thing, a little higher?
Yeah, a little higher, a little, I could call it a tiny bit of a chunk. Yeah.
Mike, you are Mr. Dependable.
It's a good thing I can strike an iron sometimes, because everything else, not so much.
Nice little fade.
Tell you, on the miss hit, like there's some, like that last one was a good strike, but the first couple just a little clunky, kind of getting stuck in the turf. Maybe width of sole a little bit large for me. But even on that, that duff, like we always talk about, that early morning round where you miss it a little bit, I mean, you can miss it all over the face or catch it a little heavy, and this thing goes no problem. It's really impressive. I've fitted a lot with T200. I personally haven't hit T200 quite a bit, but when you get to do tests like this just makes me go back to the fitting bay with customers, and it's like, you got to test T200 because it's really, really dependable.
Awesome. Well, there's number 1. Let's move into the Apex Pro. So moving from the T200 to the Callaway Apex Pro, from a looks perspective, it's a little different. It's got like a touch more offset, I would say. Definitely,
yeah, a touch more offset. Now, people are going to go T200 versus Apex Pro, a blade versus a more of a hollow body. Both are hollow body. Both are very forgiving. This, to me, looks very long heel to toe when it first came out. You compared it to old Apex Pro, it was definitely a little bit larger footprint. Obviously, having TCB in the mix now, that's how they split Apexes around, but still a very forgiving iron. So excited to see how this tests.
Awesome. I'll let you be the judge, but that didn't sound perfect, but no. We're basically on the green still.
Yeah, little face open.
That iron sounds really solid.
So good.
Come on, Come on, Mike.
Go in.
Come on.
Go in.
Come on.
One would be good.
Oh, that'd be nice. It's remarkable how soft those sound.
So good. Again, little fraction thinner sole width for me. I'm able to kind of get through it. I don't feel like I'm getting stuck as much. I mean, this turf is pretty flat, but again, that T200 got stuck for my delivery. But you know, again, both really good. Impressed with this.
That was really good. You look at the strikes on that. Like we've got, and we'll go through the numbers, but like peak was great. You saw a little bit more spin on average compared to the T200.
Definitely.
So I'm interested to see how it stacks up against the other three.
Love it.
Let's do it. So we moved on to the TaylorMade 770. Now, a lot of golfers are going to be very familiar with the 790. The 790 was introduced, I think they're on their third generation now?
Yeah, I think middle of 16.
Yeah, so the third generation piece 790 is out. 770 was the new version of it. It was the smaller 790. There was an iron before called the 770, very different construction, but the new one, speed foam, like hollowed construction, just basically a smaller version, right?
Yeah, I mean, what TaylorMade's been doing with their irons in the P series have been unbelievable. I was a huge fan of P760. I still kick myself for not playing a set, but 790 for us from the start of TXG to now, we sell a ton of P790. It's a huge performer for us. All the boys on staff love it. And when P770 was introduced, we had some guys that played P790 that, maybe a little bit better players, and they caught their short irons a little jumpy. We started comboing 770 with 790 or straight 770. This is an awesome iron. But again, personally, this doesn't sound crazy. I haven't hit it that much, so I'm excited again to see how this stacks up.
That was great. Really good swing, Mike.
There it is. That's a better shot.
Lovely little cut.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels very P790-like. Sounds great. Doesn't sound high pitch or clicky or anything like that. It's a really nice iron.
That was another one.
Yeah, really good. Impressive. Very easy to, again, for me, like an iron that can exit out of turf is, this size of sole works really nice for me. It's not crazy jumpy, what some people think it is, but no, really impressed with 770.
If we talk about where technology has come, even, let's say, not 5 years ago, but 10 years ago in this category, you were probably giving up some feel. You're probably giving up a little bit of like the acoustics and everything about it. I don't think in reality, like you're giving up much in this category from a sound and feel perspective that you would in even like just a one-piece Player's Forged.
I think engineering is not just moving material around, it's creating better sounds. And the sound off every single one we've hit, maybe T200 a little higher pitch. Again, maybe that, the back is that resin or plastic material, but I mean, they all feel great, and the last few have sounded really, really good.
Yeah, they sound great. So we got two more. We've got the 225, and then we've got the ZX5 as well. So we've got the newest iron in this test is that the Mizuno Pro 225. There's the 221 blade. We all know it looks really good. 223 and the 225, which is their kind of evolution of the HMB, the hot metal blade. What's your impressions?
I mean, they listened. HMB for us, good iron. I'm not going to say it was a great iron for us, but in the fitting bay worked well. We had a couple customers come back, and we had to do some final tweaking once the set was built. We always found it was good, but it was a little chunky, and it kind of defeated the purpose, almost hot metal pro-ish, and hot metal pro always won. This guy a little bit sleeker. Again, from early testing and early fits that we've done, I mean, 223, 221 and 225 have been unbelievable. This is super, super compact, very clean looking. I know you're interested in a set of these. This is probably one of the most impressive Mizuno irons I've seen in 5 years.
Yeah, it looks great. I think behind the ball, it's really clean. The whole line, like basically everything we're testing looks really good. What's neat about that one is it looks like a one-piece forged iron. Obviously, it's not. There's a lot going on in there. But in the bag, looks really clean. But you know, there's a lot of technology hidden in there, just like there is with the rest of these. So let's see how it stacks up. Gosh, that sounds so good.
Sound felt so good. Felt so good. Nothing feels like a Mizuno.
That went a long way, Mike.
I went a long way for a decent. Look at the ball speed. Holy mama. It's a little skinny. It's gonna work. Wow. Okay.
Now that is a perfect example of a shot. You would admit, you know, wasn't a great one, a little low on the face. You still got almost all of your carry out of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I would say for like myself as a golfer, when I'm looking at other players or as a fitter, right, and I'm working with a golfer, the biggest fear is hitting a shot over a bunker, hitting a shot over water. Because if you hit it in there, immediate strokes, right? Like, you'd much rather go long, or, you know, some players don't necessarily want to grab the extra club in case, you know, they hit it too well, right? This is one where you can feel confident in this category, which is who it's designed for, is those less than perfect shots are going to most likely, in most cases, unless you went real bad, we all do, going to end up closer to your target than something like, you know, a smaller player's cavity back, or obviously a blade, because the stronger loft, when you miss it low on the club face, helps keep spin down. Whereas if you hit that low skinny one and it shoots up and you get a lot of spin, you're losing a lot of ball speed, all of a sudden you're 15 yards short.
Yeah, I mean, I say in a fit more times than maybe I should, but like, good miss hit, right? And a couple times it takes a while for the customer to understand what you're trying to say. But that one, for an example, like 225 out of the gates, a few miles an hour faster already on ball speed. And I've always explained to the customer, if I can make you naturally faster without trying any harder, that's a win-win. Now, on the days where you're striking your bad shots better than your good shots with your old iron, you're not sacrificing anything. That one, you know, 119 ball, and it still carried the number. Yeah, a little bit less spin, a little bit less launch, but I'm gonna take that miss all day long versus I know what my current 6-iron miss is, and it's dreadful. So if that's gonna be that thin miss for me, that's a winner all day long.
It's like we never practice for our good days, because when we're good, we're gonna be good.
Yeah.
We practice for our bad days,
Definitely.
so our bad is better.
Definitely.
And this is kind of an example of that from a club fitting perspective.
Couple more?
Couple more.
That was good.
You sound, from like when I've heard you hit shots before, like you sound steeper into the ball.
This is what a sound of a strike, in my opinion, should be. Like, you watch Golf Channel, you watch guys playing, the ladies play, they're compressing the ball. I never compress the ball.
Yeah.
Now I can actually, I mean, to be 2 down on it is massive. Okay, one more with this one. I'm gonna get away with it.
That sounded nice and compressed.
Yeah, a little chunky, but I'll get away with it.
Mike, if you move into this category, we're gonna have to start moving this green back.
I know.
Last one. All right, Mike, so this is an iron you're familiar with, the ZX5, but you only play it in your 4 and 5 iron, and we got the 6 iron here.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to put it head to head with, you know, the category that we're testing. This is that category. This is the kind of the benchmark for that category. We are a huge fan of the Srixon product, obviously knowing that parts of it are forged by Endo. The quality of it's really good. I mean, I've been a Srixon fan since the 745s. I mean, that stuff was unbelievable. So, yeah, this stuff's good. I'm excited to, again, because I don't have it in the 6-iron, I haven't hit the 6-iron. I still play the 4-iron. I've changed irons right now, but I still play the 4-iron that I have in ZX5. Excited to see how this performs.
The whole Srixon line, I think, with that 4-5 series, the 745, 545, really put them on the map. Like, they always were around. They were very popular in Europe. You could kind of find them in North America for us here. But when they really launched that 4-5 series, 945 blade looked amazing. It set the benchmark, I think, for a lot of players' cavity irons.
Totally.
And the 5, like the 545 and the 565, like 585, 5X or X5,
yeah,
is a club where tons of distance. You've got a club that has a lot of forgiveness built into it, and what makes it unique is the sole design.
Yeah, V-sole
works for a lot of different golfers who might be. One of the questions I get is like, is it a good iron for steeper players? It's great.
Yeah.
Is it an iron for players that might be a little bit shallower? It's not, the new one isn't quite as aggressive as some of the original sole designs. Still works really good as well because the center of gravity is aligned.
Definitely. Yeah, I get that question all the time. I'm shallow. Will it work? I mean, I'm going to say the old story. Go get fit. Go try it. But you're right. This one isn't as as prominent in there. So I think for even some of the shallow players, it's definitely going to work. We do know from testing that we've done and from personal use, I find as an iron doesn't spin the most. Obviously, we'll see the numbers here in a second, but like I said, nothing but good things to say about ZX5.
All right, so this is the 5th iron in our test, Mike. Let's see how we do. Great swing. Yeah, we are seeing that lower spin, which you mentioned, but we're still seeing really good height. And when we compare them, that's the thing I'm really curious about, is how they compare across the board.
Definitely.
That was a great one there.
Sounds great, feels great. One more of that one.
Nice little cut.
Yeah.
It's a lot of carry for a cut.
It's a lot of carry
6 iron.
for a cut. Good efficiency on that.
Nice. All right, Mike, so we've gone through, we've tested all 5 irons. Let's get you behind the desk and let's look at this here.
Good little test to try a bunch of different irons, all in similar categories. A couple interesting things that we noticed right out of the gates. Again, I will say this right now, they all felt great. They all performed really nicely. There's not one that performed poorly that I would say, is a bad iron whatsoever. For me out of the gates, I tend to think I hit the ball a little too low. I do play my lofts a little strong, so looking at an iron like Apex Pro right now, again, all these have the shaft that I currently use, but looking at Apex Pro, a little bit more spin, maybe a little bit less carry, but I think I'd take a little bit more spin over some distance right now. Now, if we were talking driver, it'd be a different number, but with an iron, for me to be able to hold a green, I will be honest, I don't hit a lot of greens when I play golf. It's something I'm trying to work on. But if I had a bit more spin, I can hold a green. So again, Apex wins the battle for me on that. But everything's really good. Obviously, we can tell ZX5, 225, they're rocket launchers.
Insane.
And like I said to you earlier, on the miss with 225, the miss is too far for me personally. But again, if you're looking for if someone's looking for a little bit of distance, all around on the miss or the good strike, I mean, 225 and ZX5s are winners.
I think one of the biggest and most noticeable things is when we look at your data is, we've got 5 irons here. We've got 5 irons for 5 different players.
Totally.
Like, it's not just player's cavity fits into one group of players, right? Because, as we've looked at in other videos, I hit the golf ball very high. You are someone who hits the golf ball, I wouldn't say super high.
No.
So you're trying to hold greens more so, right? So for you, for example, if we look at the Apex, a player that's got a ton of speed, who needs a little bit extra spin, might create a little lower loft. We've got the highest launch angle here.
Yep.
Opposite end of the spectrum, ZX5, you've got one of the highest ball speeds that we're recording, also very low launch.
Yep.
So for a player who is higher launching, needs something to get up in the air, they've got speed to create like a little bit of extra spin, or they, tweak the golf ball a little bit.
Definitely.
Next thing you know, you've got an iron that fits that player.
Totally.
And then the other 3, you've got stuff kind of everything in between.
Yeah.
Because what we try and stress when we look at categories is, just because you have like one category, you might think, okay, it's going to fit between, let's say, a 5 or even a scratch golfer, all the way up to say like a 15 handicap. There are different speed ranges, there are different deliveries and all of that.
Yep.
So each one of these irons could fit one of those players extremely well.
Absolutely.
For yourself, obviously the Apex Pro, not the fastest, but something that in your case is going to help you hold greens.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe is it the one that suits my eye a little bit more? The iron I do play right now is a Mira MC501, so a little thinner top line is something I prefer. Like I said, I would sacrifice a couple extra yards for that profile that I'm looking for. So cool test. I'm excited. I'd love to do a blade test with my speed. I'd love to do a game improvement test with my speed and kind of see again, it's not necessarily who's the best out of it, but just showing the different profiles.
Yeah, and I think the one thing which we talked before, just kind of got into the data, was this here, right? Like peak heights are all very different by we're not talking vast dispersion,
right?
But we're talking a noticeable difference that creates a playable advantage to a specific golfer, whoever that's going to work for.
Absolutely.
And you've got different downrange peaks, which are going to work for players at different speeds. But at the end of the data, we've got tight dispersion all the way around.
Yeah, dispersion is king in my opinion. I think if you can keep it within that hula hoop size. Again, during a fitting, I'm a visual guy. I show that to customers all the time. Here's what you started with. Here's what you're leaving with. If it's inside that hula hoop, it's a win-win.
We got 5 pretty colored hula hoops out there, Mike.
There you go.
You need to know which one of them is going to be yours. So that is a perfect example of a test where we've got someone at a very specific speed, 5 different irons, all would fit very well. But at the end of the day, they all fit very differently. So it comes down to maximizing what's going to work for your game, what could potentially work for my game, and what's going to work for you as well at home. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. We're going to keep doing these comparison tests because it's very important that when you go out and you're looking at new golf clubs, you're looking at something where what's going to fit into my category, what's going to fit into my game. Just because it works well for Mike or myself doesn't mean that it's going to be the best for you, but there could be one of those irons that's actually perfect for you that fits your dynamics, fits your speed, and fits your golf swing. So again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please use the comment section below. Let us know your comments on this video and anything else you'd like us to test. And as always, thanks for watching.